Good evening, I'm Jeroge Mwaura. It's Thursday, the 18th of April, the day when the structure of Kenya's new lean cabinet was revealed, with the number of ministries slashed from 42 to 18. Asha Mwilu is standing by with the latest on the cabinet formation and the long wait. And as the president finalized the structure of his cabinet in parliament, MPs agitating for a pay rise are now threatening to disband the Salaries and Remuneration Committee. We will also be bringing you news on the county assembly's first sittings in Nairobi and Kisumu, where Fred Omulo will tell us more about Governor Jack Ranguma's plans for the lakeside city. We've got all these stories and more lined up for you on KTN Prime tonight, but first, the highlights. Uhuru's lean cabinet, but where are the names? The greedy assembly, MPs threatened to disband the Salaries team.
Members, I then propose the question.
Apologies for that mix-up of our highlights, but let's go to our top story tonight. President Uhuru Kenyatta has slashed the number of ministries in a bid to create a leaner cabinet. Kenya will now have 18 ministries compared to the 44 created under the Grand Coalition government. President Uhuru is, however, yet to name his cabinet nominees. Let's join Asha Mwilu now, who has been following up on the Jubilee cabinet, for an update.
Well, Njoroge, of course, the president is keeping everyone guessing on this issue. Everyone was expecting that by the end of today, we would have had the names of these nominees to represent the Jubilee government, to be vetted, of course, by Parliament before they are appointed as cabinet secretaries. But the president did release an outlook of how the cabinet will look, with a leaner cabinet having 18 ministries. Let's take a look at how the cabinet will be, what ministries will be there, what has been compressed.
Asante sana, anakabidhiwa.
9 days after the swearing-in of the president, the entire country was all ears for the big announcement, Uhuru Kenyatta's cabinet list. The anticlimax, however, was that the president would take just a little bit longer before unveiling his cabinet nominees. Instead, he revealed the ministries that would shape his cabinet. The first move was to slash the number of ministries for a leaner cabinet, as he had promised. The 44 ministries created under the coalition government have been collapsed to only 18 ministries. 2 vital ministries were crafted carefully to fall under the offices of the president and his deputy. These include the Ministry of Interior and Coordination of National Government, as well as the Ministry of Devolution and Planning. Other key ministries have been retained as they were. These include the Ministry of Defense, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the National Treasury, although known before as Ministry of Finance, and the Ministry of Health. For some ministries, however, the work just got tougher. The cabinet secretary in charge of agriculture will now have to handle livestock and fisheries. Ministry of Environment and Natural Resources has absorbed the water docket. The Ministry of Land will also include housing and urban development. The Ministry of Education, on the other hand, will also have to cater for a Department of Science and Technology. Transport and Infrastructure will fall under one ministry, while Information, Communication and Technology are now under one docket. The Ministry of Labor will also cater for social security services. The Ministry of Energy has been renamed the Ministry of Energy and Petroleum. Experts argue this move was perhaps informed by the discovery of oil in Turkana. The president has opted to leave the Ministry of Mining as a standalone. The Ministries of Tourism and Commerce have been brought together to form one office with the 2 departments. Sports, Culture and the Arts will fall under one ministry, while the Ministry of Industrialization will now double up with Enterprise Development. Other crucial ministries in the former cabinet, however, seem to have been left out of the list. Wildlife and Forestry have not been assigned to a specific docket. Could they probably fall under the Environment Ministry? With the new look cabinet now unveiled, the focus now shifts to the nominees that will take up these jobs. In addition, the president is now left with a number of permanent secretaries in ministries that have been absorbed who will probably end up jobless or redeployed. Ashamwilu, KTN Prime.
Well, Njoroge, as you've seen there, that is the outlook. 18 ministry from the 44 that we had from the Grand Coalition. President Uhuru Kenyatta, of course, when he opened the National Assembly, the 11th Parliament, he did say that he was going to have a leaner cabinet, and he's delivered on that promise today when he announced the list of his cabinet ministries, as you've seen there, Njoroge.
Asha, before you leave us, just one question. Do you have any idea as to how long Kenyans will have to wait before the executive releases this all-important list of cabinet secretaries? I mean, what's the earliest they can expect it?
Njoroge, two indicators that can guide us to know probably when President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy will unveil this list of nominees are: one, the president's diary, and of course, two, the parliamentary committee on appointments. We know that parliament is supposed to appoint the members of parliament to sit in this very crucial committee that will vet these nominees, the cabinet secretary nominees. They have to appoint the MPs by Tuesday and announce what that committee will look like. Of course, President Uhuru Kenyatta could be waiting and
consolidate revenue streams as they settle into business. Some have already issued notices on where the rate collection previously paid to municipal councils and town councils should be channeled to, signaling intentions to tighten the streams.
As the county governing assemblies took to work this Thursday, a critical element in the operations remains revenue generation. This has seen a number of counties move fast to consolidate revenue collection streams within their jurisdiction to meet delivery targets and supplement on national government allocation. The counties, through the governor's offices, are now issuing directives to business and operators to pay their rates and fees to county accounts as opposed to their previous municipal or town council accounts that have been frozen. Under the devolved structures of governance, county administrators are tasked with significant functions to discharge, including county agriculture, health and transport. And to achieve this, they need other sources of revenue to supplement the revenue from the national kitty. According to the Constitution, counties are expressly allowed to impose entertainment taxes and property rates as part of their revenue streams. Previously, local government authorities raised revenues from, among others, land rates, parking fees in urban areas, business permits, as well as advertisements fees. But with the new structures in place, these are expected to be paid out to the new administrations. The push towards pooling of revenue is expected to leverage on service deliveries among counties such as Nairobi, Mombasa, Kisumu, Nakuru, Nyeri, and Eldoret, which as cities and town councils raked in billions of shillings in revenue collections. Even as the county governments move in to consolidate revenue generation, the Constitution is very clear that taxation and revenue sharing powers should not prejudice any national economic policies. Joseph Bonyo, KTN Business Today.
Right. Now, the growing demand for internet and data services has spurred tremendous growth in the country's mobile market, and mobile service providers have now turned their energies to the subsector as they seek to protect their bottom lines from saturated calling market. In the latest CCK quarterly sector report, data subscribers grew from 8.45 million to 9.49 million between October and December last year. This growth outpaced that of mobile subscribers, which grew by a mere 1% from 30.4 million to the previous quarter to 30.7 million in the quarter under review. Market penetration also rose marginally from 77.2% to 78%. Among operators, Safaricom continued its dominance of the market, increasing its market share from 63.2% to 64.5% over the period. Airtel also gained 0.1% to bring its market share to 16.9%. While ESA came third with a 10.5% market share, Telkom Kenya was the only firm to lose market share over the period, with its subscriber numbers falling from 10.2% to 8.1%. Meanwhile, mobile money continued its winning streak, with total deposits growing from 205 billion shillings to 222 billion shillings between October and December last year. Shifting gears, the Insurance Regulatory Authority is decrying the rising cases of medical insurance fraud in the country. According to the regulator, fraud in the subsector accounts for about 20% of fraud cases in the insurance business, second to motor insurance fraud. Now, the prevalence of these cases targets large insurance schemes where members have dependents. Michael Karanja with all the details.
For many years, fraud in the insurance business has largely been associated with falsified claims in the motor insurance business. But as the regulator has stepped up efforts to weed out this practice, fraudsters are now training their eyes on a new segment, medical insurance.
It is very difficult for...
According to the IRA Commissioner General, the problem lies with the large insurance schemes where an individual gets medical cover for his or her close dependents. Fraudsters are now accessing the database, duplicating medical cards, and are able to access medical care at hospitals. Their main target, however, is access to expensive medicine for diabetes or hypertension, which they then resell at a lower price, pocketing the money.
Some of these cards are not smart. They are just a picture on the card. Now, so if you are able to put your picture, then you go to any medical facility, they will treat you. And this is what has been happening. In fact, we have made a number of arrests in this particular regard.
So far, a total of 11 cases valued at 250,000 shillings have been reported and being prosecuted by the Insurance Fraud Unit. Though the number might seem low, IRA is concerned by the number of cases that have gone undetected, costing insurance companies money.
Actually, what has been happening is that because when he runs broke, he just give it to some con man and pick a medication of 20,000, and you just put 10,000 in his pocket. So it becomes a very lucrative way for the children also to make money.
The insurance regulator is now working with insurance firms to ensure biometric data for those accessing medical insurance is captured to avoid further losses in the industry. Michael Karanja, KTN Business Today.
And now for a bit of musical chairs, the Kenya Private Sector Alliance has appointed Vimal Shah as its new chairman. Shah, the managing director of Bidco Refineries, takes over from Patrick Obath, who has been at the helm for 4 years. In its annual general meeting held at a Nairobi hotel, the alliance also appointed a number of directors to its board, including Kiprono Kitoni, Richard Etemesi, Polycarp Igathe, Laila Masharia, Muhoho Kenyatta, and Rita Kavashe, among others. Right, and businesses affected by floods across the country have a recourse, but only if they were insured. Our reporter Philip Keitani today sought to find out just how businesses affected by the floods can get back to their feet. Here's the story.
As rains continue in most parts of the country, households can sign with relief since the government is out to salvage them with a 1.6 billion fund. However, small businesses and farmers from across the country remain hard hit, with millions of shillings in investment already